Welcome to After Dark with the Legacy Studio. We are so excited to have another episode. And this time you get a fresh new face, Mr. David Sanchez.
Hello.
So we will have you introduce yourself first. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what do you do, and why are you here?
My name is David Sanchez. I'm a professional comic book artist. I've been drawing professionally for 4 years now. I just kind of got into the industry a little bit by accident, and I'm just so happy to be a part
Of course.
MegaCon.
At MegaCon.
At MegaCon.
Rob, who are you? What do you do?
Once again, I don't know these people. They took me off the street.
sounds
I'm going to
familiar.
blink really hard for help. No, it's, hey, I'm back. And you guys brought me back.
Yes.
And it's fun. Let's
is
keep
fun.
doing this. This episode is brought to you by Old El Paso Tacos.
Oh.
When you want a Mexican dinner and you're white, Old El Paso, the way to go.
Have you tried the spicy hard shell?
No, I'm actually just fucking around. I don't know anything about that. I wanted to create a fake sponsorship. But Old El Paso, you want to sponsor us?
Yes.
The first comic book artist sponsored
Yeah,
by
why not?
a taco company. That's wonderful.
Do you have an issue with Old El Paso? How do you say it?
Old El Paso.
Do you like, not like?
I love.
Love.
Yeah.
Are they like legit?
Well, when you're on a budget,
Yeah.
and you don't want to sit there and make a tortilla yourself.
Okay.
Grab it. They have the flat ones.
They do, yeah.
I love those.
They have the ones that are, they have the ones that stand
I
on
love
their
the
own.
bowls too. Those are awesome.
So you'll have to explain why I just automatically went to you for Old El Paso. Because I don't think anybody
El
else
Paso.
knows. Sorry?
Old El Paso.
Exactly. That's what I said.
I mean, I eat it. I mean, if you're talking about
Where are
that.
you from?
Oh, well, I'm from. I'm sorry. I'm from Euless, Texas.
Okay. Where would
Stereotypes.
Well,
How dare
was
you?
that? I wasn't trying to be mean. I just felt like the history wasn't provided.
Well, I'm from Euless, Texas.
Okay.
Lived there technically I was born in Dallas, raised in Arlington, and currently reside in Euless, which is all within the triangle
Okay.
in the area. So I've been a part of the Texas culture for my whole life, but my family's actually from El Paso, and most of their family was from Mexico. So, it's just I saw El Paso on the box and it had tacos on it, and I wanted to eat it. So I got used to it.
So on the previous podcast, we had other fellow artist, Ash Gonzalez, who's also Texas-based. So what's the deal with Texas? Do you guys just make artists there who draw comics? What's going on?
I don't know. I mean, it's cool to
Artists with amazing talent.
it's the tacos. Honestly.
It's the tacos.
Better food. No, I mean, honestly, me personally, I just got into the industry because I love to just kind of draw on my own and everything like that. And once you are involved in it, you really don't realize at first how many great artists are down the street from you. Just a name drop, Ariel Diaz. great
Oh,
artist.
she's awesome.
She's Dallas-based, and Jeremy Clark used to live in Dallas. He's in Arkansas. I mean, in the area. So you just really don't know or don't realize it, just how many people are so close to you. So it's pretty cool to rub elbows with those people and have the the obvious peer relationship, and it's intense. So definitely motivating to try to be on their level.
Yeah.
So.
We're here at MegaCon days before. Do you guys have any artists you're watching? Any cool things you guys see coming out?
Me personally, I love one of my favorite artists right now that'll be there is E.M. Geist. He'll be there with Trinity Comics. Also, my buddy Aaron Bartling will be there. It'll be good to see him.
Oh, I love Aaron. He's so nice.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
He's Tennessee?
Yeah. Or he was. I think he moved. I thought maybe I was wrong.
He was California.
Okay,
He moved-
stalker.
He was
Exactly.
California, and now he lives in Tennessee.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. But that's my list. So.
Who are you looking out for?
I don't know if I have anyone specifically. Like, I'm definitely looking forward to reconnecting with artists that I know that are going to be here. Like, I'm excited to be able to see Ben Templesmith again and say hey to him. Scott Hanna, say hello. Also, I'm going to take the opportunity to first, at least in person, meet Sora Sung. She's fantastic, and we follow each other online and have chatted here and there, but never met in person. So I'd like to hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
But beyond that, this is my first time at MegaCon, so I don't really know what to expect, and I just kind of want to absorb the whole show as a whole and just kind of explore a little bit and see what's all going on, because I've heard nothing but good things about the show. So yeah,
Very
we'll see how it
excited.
goes.
You just have to be ready for a sea of people, which
Well,
is a
fair
good
enough.
thing.
Yes, absolutely.
But a lot of people.
Saturday's wild.
Saturday is wild. Absolutely. All right, let's get into the dirt of the industry going on right now. How do we feel about the whole recent slabbed book issue?
Slab book issue.
CGC.
I don't know about this. Educate me.
Val?
Oh, I don't want to misspeak on air.
Okay.
I guess there was a scam going on where people were taking a graded 9.8, right? They were separating the case, removing the insert, putting in a lower grade, like a 9.2, 9.4, 9.6.
So it's just changing the label.
Well, but they weren't changing the label because they kept the serial number
okay.
and the book, whatever. And then they put the new one inside, and then they take the old 9.8 and they'd regrade that, and now they just essentially duplicated the book. So people were buying 9.8s, and some of these were, I think they were like Hulk 181, ASM 300s. So people are buying, and newsstands with Mark Jewelers inserts. So we're talking like $15,000 plus books, and they're getting the book, and it's not a 9.8, you know?
Wow.
So they're like, oh man, this 9.8 looks really shitty. And it is. And it turns out that with photographic evidence, they were able to find out that there was over 300 books that they found there.
Now, this is just personal people doing this?
There
Or
are some,
was this within a company or what?
I think it was a little bit of both. Jesus. I think they don't know how, from what I remember, I don't know if they know how far back it went, but they were looking at like a lot of the recent stuff, and there were some recent sales that were going on that, this was just happening, unfolded.
Right.
At least people are identifying it now. They're identifying the scam.
And
So-
some of these books were going for tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. So somebody's buying
heard
what they
about this
think
at
is
all?
9.8.
I had not.
So
It's
I'm just gonna I don't know what to say about the situation other than just, unfortunately, there's just scumbag people out there who want to like take advantage of certain things. What I'm gonna make a statement on is just on slabbed books in general. This is just a personal opinion. I don't understand the appeal of it, to be honest. Like, the only thing that I give sort of a little bit of, I don't know, I guess leeway to, is if, like, let's say somebody signed it, like Stan Lee, for example. Right. I have a slabbed Spider-Man signed by Stan because I want it preserved, and he's not around anymore. So something like that, or like to get like something like Neil Adams signed, get it slabbed and kept around.
Right.
Sure, but books out there that are possibly not signed and not remarked, that you just want to get it and slab it and possibly do it to flip it and make a profit. I don't understand. To me, I don't get it. Like, I want to be able to hold the book in my hand. I want to flip through it. I want to read through it. I have raw books that are signed by other people too, that I'm like, no, I want it that way. I want to be able to, hold it and experience it. So I don't get it. I understand it's from a collector's market and everything. It just never quite made sense to me. But I mean, hey, if that's your thing, yeah, slab away. So yeah. What about you?
I kind of feel the same way. I mean, I'm more into the visual stimulation that you get from just looking at a beautiful cover from like a Josh Middleton or Perillo. What I use, because even though I am authorized CGC rep or grader on my part, grader,
shoot.
but not a authorized. No, I'm saying like an
Facilitator?
authorized. No, just like an artist. I can grade. I have.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know
You
the terminology.
can you can authorize your own signature.
Right, exactly. But I personally don't feel like you have to go that far to do it. So I would use comic capsules. I love the company. I love how they just allow you to just display your work. So
Is that like a gator guard?
kind of like that, yeah.
Okay.
And it's same. It's just easier, and you still get that slab feel. So I just kind of just stay away from it as much as I can. But with me being working on commissions for folks, if that's what they want, then of course let's do it. But I just never got into the whole meat and potatoes of what happened.
Yeah, I don't know how CGC does it, but I know with CBCS they offer art grades for their books.
Yeah, I don't think CGC does that.
And so I think I like that option. So that way you don't have to worry about is it a 9.8, is it a 8.6, whatever. It's because you're buying it specifically, especially if it's a sketch cover.
Sure.
Then at that point, it's sure get it just graded as art. That way it's protected. You don't have to worry about it, and buy a secondary copy if you want to flip through it and read the book. And then that way, because it's an original piece of art, sure, then encase it, preserve it. That's fine. I get.
And that's just the thing. I'm sorry.
No.
It's just there's that whole turf war kind of thing, who's the better facilitator. And so I always offer that because I beat my books up. Whenever I'm drawing, I get corners rubbed, and I get spine ticks sometimes. And
God.
You have to go through the press and clean process too with those, even with the artwork. And I torture these books.
Well, and the thing is, you can't guarantee. Unfortunately, you can package a book as well as you want, but you are in the end you're reliant upon whatever delivery services out there with the post office, FedEx, UPS. Yeah, you can get someone who's just not happy and just wants to throw packages down the road, and I mean it happens, and you can't control it. So, I know at least myself, I try to pack stuff as securely as possible, but for anybody to be like, well, I'm upset that I got the sketch cover and it only came back a 9.6. First of all, I'm not grading it, so I have no say in the matter. And from my understanding too, is that you can have the same book graded by 3 different people and get 3 completely different scores. Mm-hmm. So it really just depends on who grades it too. And that's why, to me, again, I don't understand the appeal of it because it's a crapshoot in a way, and you're not quite sure. Even a book that you can get that you might be like, this is a 10. It hasn't even nobody's even breathed on it yet, and you could still come back an 8.4. You know what I'm saying? You don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, for the sketch covers, I don't see the purpose of the grade. And that's why I appreciate the CBCS art label. And it's just art. I mean, that's what I want it for anyway. So the grade is just a byproduct. I don't particularly care, especially as a consumer. But I recently just got a new CBCS slab. Have you guys seen those?
No, but I heard they redid the labels, right?
They did the slab too. It's nice.
It's thicker and it's more flashy. I love the hollow kind of appeal on the.
I didn't expect anything. I opened it out of the box, and the first thing I told her, I was like, "This feels nice. This is impressive. It's a huge change."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
I got to take a look at those. I haven't seen those yet.
Yeah, I'll bring one to one of the shows, but. Not the turf war thing, but CGC does command a premium. I think they say at least not for sketch covers, but for regular books, I think they sell 10 or 15% higher, minimally, right?
Well, I mean, they've been around longer, so I get it. They've got the clout to back them up and everything, but still, it sucks that there are people out there who are taking advantage of it to alter labels and.
Right.
Well, now CGC has to go back through, and you can basically submit any book. They have a list of the books, right?
And serial numbers.
And serial numbers, so you can submit it. They will, I guess, fact check it or double check it. And if it is in fact I don't know, what's the word? Forgery, counterfeit. They will actually reimburse you. But then they're reimbursing at today's rate, not what the person bought it for. So depending on, you could have a really great paycheck or not a great paycheck. Right. So it's...
Oh, and so I forgot to mention, the way that I think this came to light was somebody sold, I want to say it was what was the Spider-Man book? I don't remember the number, but they sold the book and a consumer saw it on eBay and then saw it something later on, and it was now labeled Mark Jewelers insert. So the guy took the original one out, and then took the Jewelers one out, and then submitted it in another slab and said, "Hey, you guys forgot the Mark Jewelers." So he swapped 9/8 to get a higher premium on the Mark Jewelers insert, and then submitted that one so they could relabel that one as Mark Jewelers. It was the whole thing was a disaster. Yeah,
I had no idea.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. That's
I'm
wild.
surprised I did not look into this more. You hear so many things going on, and I'm like, oh, what's going on now? You
Yeah.
know, I'm like, might as
Yeah,
well
it's
just
something
stay
new all the
home.
time.
Just gonna put my head down and work.
That's a smart
Next
thing
thing
to
you
do.
know, 3 months from now, somebody's going to submit some cover that's going to cause controversy because of how it's drawn, and
Or it's on an acetate cover.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a classic one.
Yep.
Sounds good.
So for people that don't know you, either of you, what kind of art do both of you do?
I specialize in black and gray realism. My medium is graphite and charcoal. I'm trying to dive into other mediums and just try to be a little bit more diverse with everything. But I keep going back to charcoals and pencils, and so that's for me. It's just primarily charcoal and graphite.
It's impressive too. Like I've looked at your work, and like I have an appreciation for like realism and everything. Your work, Ash's work, as Ash we had discussed earlier today when he was mentioning Alex Ross. I think it's crazy to do all that stuff too. I can do that. I just don't like to.
It definitely takes time.
Well, it does, but at the same time too, because I'm so nitpicky on myself that if I make the slightest deviation from, I prefer to do likenesses rather than like portrait work, if that makes sense. So at least it's like, even if it is slightly off, it's okay because it's a likeness.
looks like
Yeah.
I mean, I try to put everything I have into each piece that I do, and in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, man, if I never fail in a project. I just kind of run out of time, because it's deadlines. There's all these different obstacles in my way, and when it comes down to it. So I take in a hard reset on what I'm thinking or working on at the time. And then I start to evaluate how long it's going to take for me to do this. Let's see how quickly I can do an eyeball or a chin or whatever the case is. And generally, for me, it used to be, and especially if it's a project with a serious deadline, like I was telling you about, We Live, I only had 3 days to do We Live #1 cover. And that was by far the most stressful time in my life.
Did you sleep?
No, not at all. I go back to the Roadhouse moment, get all the sleep when you're dead kind of thing. So I just continue to try not to minimize distractions, just focus on what I'm working on. The hardest part is time management, and that's always going to be my Achilles heel, unfortunately. But I hate whenever I put something out and I look at it with fresh eyes 6 days later. I'm like, dude, why did I not fix that chin? Like, there's an outline showing. Like, dude, come on. It's hard for me to. I mean, when we met, you wanted me to draw Vampirella.
Yeah.
Venomized.
Yeah.
And I was like, the attention to detail that he's requesting of me is not something I can accomplish in 3 days or 2 days. It was
Denver, right? So it was
Denver.
I think it was Denver.
3 days.
Yeah.
So I was like, I do not want to just ruin the sketch. I can try to draw quickly, but it's just I'm going to be upset with it afterwards.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's an interesting segue. One of our most popular posts we have is on mental health and the lack of support for mental health, especially within this comic industry. Really curious to hear from both of you on, for other artists that are listening or even anybody struggling, is there something that you guys have put into your daily habits? Is it something that you guys are willing and open to talk about so that others that are listening realize that they're not alone, right? There's a lot of those people who are perfectionists, right? And can't let go and don't feel good enough.
the one thing that I was struggling with for a period of time that I haven't really admitted was when you're in the industry, you are up against hundreds of talented artists, and you're essentially in a race, and you are looking at all the great work that they're doing, and you're living your life through their highlight reel, and that's not the best thing to do, because all that does is just it kills your mood, and it makes you less motivated to create, less interested in what you're doing, and that becomes a job, and you have to feed your family, and I don't want to ever look at what I'm doing, whether it's playing a video game or
Oh gosh.
taking care of my family or drawing, which I did this, rewind 7 years ago. I lost my parents 6 months apart. This was something that they wanted me to do, so I started just drawing portraits of dogs and family members, and then I just so happened to be, I just so happened to know the right people, and then fast forward to now, what I allowed myself to do was just basically just turn off the volume, everything around me. So don't look at other people's success because it's their time. Let them have their moment. And just understand that your time will come and you'll have the best time when that moment happens. I mean, for me personally, I want to work with people who genuinely want me to be successful, genuinely are wanting to help me and be happy with what I'm doing. And I'm not ashamed to admit I do need help sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I said, having a team behind me to help elevate my career, that'll take off the stress of dealing with, talking with publications or flights or, just stuff that's really not that important to me.
Yep.
That will allow me to just draw. I just want to draw. That's it. That's basically all I want to do.
It's a really good tagline.
It's easy to say, but
Aren't you that guy that draws?
I am that guy. Well, I am that guy who draws. Yeah,
That's
that's
his name.
usually that's my gamer tag. That guy draws.
I was like, wait, I've
You can
heard that
You
before.
can find, usually if it's not that, it's whatever Twitter's called now, X or whatever.
Yeah.
Or most of social media, it's either my name or my other tag is that guy draws. So if you see me on Fortnite,
Yes.
My son knows your name.
okay, so
He's
yeah,
like, when we're playing Fortnite, he goes, "That guy draws is in the lobby. Invite him." And I'm like, "Okay, man."
yeah. And so my brother, he busts my balls all the time. He's like even when we're playing on the same map together, he'll be like, "Hey, it's that guy draws," and I'm just like, "Sure am." But yeah, no, mental health's important, especially like you mentioned too. It's just like a lot of things you beat yourself up with a lot as an artist, and you do a lot more like you discussed realistic stuff. I try to focus more on. I guess my path or my goal or my direction is to be more like traditional comics, but with a modern spin on it, incorporating a little bit more of like maybe animated movement in it, but still keep it within realistic proportions and things of that nature. And so, as artists, we have to own and develop our style and change it to how it fits our needs, and so we stand out and we're our own thing. And it took a long time. I'm still bad about it now. Every now and then, I'll see somebody's work and I'm like, God damn it, why am I doing this anymore? Like I should just quit. But it took a while for me to realize that everybody has a different style for a reason. Exactly. There's a reason why there's so many artists out there. There's a reason why there's so many writers out there. Everybody has their own style. They have their own flavor to bring to the table. And that's good because it creates variety at that point. Lord knows I wouldn't want to be in a room full of artists who do very similar stuff to me, because then at that point it becomes uninspiring in a way. And at the same time, it creates just a lot of stress because of competition, because you're competing more or less against the same thing. I would rather compete against someone who is different like you, or someone who is different like Ariel Diaz or Art Germ or whoever, like everybody's going to have their own level of skill. Everybody's going to have their own diversity and their style and everything. But for me, like I had to, for a long time, I would beat myself up about it. And we had this discussion earlier prior to the podcast that we're our own worst critics. Right. We're going to judge our work worse than anyone else will. I could make a piece where you or anyone at this table or anyone watching at home or anything like that could be like, this is amazing. This is one of the best things I've ever seen. But me, I'm going to pick out, I shouldn't have put that color there. The light source is not quite how I wanted it to be. It should be this way if you're looking at it. But at some point, you have to turn your brain off and tell it to shut up and just move forward, because otherwise you're just gonna tinker with it so much. I feel like if you do it too much, you could actually make it worse than what it is. So at some point, you have to just be like, I'm done, move on. And with me, as someone who deals with ADHD, I will work on several pieces at once. So that way, if I'm bored, not bored, but if I become sort of like stagnant with one, I can set it aside and pick up a different one instead.
Pencil down and walk away.
Or sometimes I just straight up walk away. Right. Sometimes I need to take a day off. So I'm gonna be like, I can't even draw today, so I'm gonna go for a walk. I'll go for a hike. So I'll go to like a local park. I'll go for a hike. I'll clear my head, and then I'll be refreshed and I'll be ready to jump back into it. And so I think that's, and like you said too, if I need help a lot of times, I'm thankful that I do have a close-knit support system. People at this table and in this room have been part of that, along with others as well too. And if you can get help with therapy, go seek it and everything. And because it's not easy, and you don't have to do things alone if there are people out there for you. And I'm sure there are people out there that will help. You just have to let it known that. I think people are too afraid to say, I'm messed up and I need help. And it's like whether it's because you're a man and you're like, well, I can't show weakness, or you're afraid of how people may judge you or anything like that. Like, just say it. It's fine. Exactly. Like, we can all be vulnerable. We can all have problems, and we can all need help. And I think it needs to become more accepted, that it's just like, it's cool to say, like, I'm not okay, and let it known and move forward, because it's not going to only benefit you better to make you a better person, but especially if you're a creative, whether you're an artist, a writer, filmmaker, photographer, musician, anything like that, it then creates more of a drive, I think, to like keep going. It's like, people do care. People. There are people out there who care about me and my well-being and what I create. And yeah, it's very helpful in that way.
Totally agree. It seems as if we have 3 gamers at this table.
Oh, no.
One of the people here is not a gamer. I'll let you guys guess.
One of these things is not like the other.
So, what is your favorite game? What could you play for the rest of your life?
Me, Valheim.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I love Valheim. I love the survival
Is it because it has
aspect.
Val in the name?
Yes.
Oh, exactly.
Obviously. Okay. Just making sure.
But no, it's just the survival aspect behind it. The feeling it's creating something and living off the land, and going against enemies, obviously. But I don't know. That game is just addicting. I don't know what it is. It's just one of those games where you start at 1 o'clock and then you blink.
PM or AM?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then it's like the 2 days later, you're just now blinking, and it's like, oh crap, I got to go to work. Oh, that was 2 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Honestly, if I had to say anything, it'd just be anything Legend of Zelda. I grew up a Nintendo kid, growing up in the mid to late 80s and everything. And Zelda was like, Mario was I'm always gonna have a love for Mario and everything. But when I got older, I think I was really big into RPGs. So like a lot of Final Fantasies, a lot of things like that too. I got stupidly addicted to World of Warcraft for a while, and I had to stop.
Thank you for saying stupidly addicted. It sounds like somebody else I know.
No, it was bad. Like, it was really bad. I think the worst moment I had with that was I literally went on a 3-day no sleep bender playing World of Warcraft. It was during Burning Crusade. Oh. It's like right when it was about to switch into Wrath of the Lich King, so I was like, I need to level up. I need to get all my gear because I need to be a Death Knight and I need to be as good as I can be.
Yep.
And
I've been playing SOD, but little by little.
And so and don't get me wrong, I love Warcraft, and I think I love the franchise. I wish at some point they would come out with a console version. Like I really would love that someday, but anything Legend of Zelda, really, I think it has to do with, and I love the new, I will say, I was a purist, I was like, no, I love Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time and all the old ones that everybody's like, these are the ones. I really love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I think it really has perfected what that franchise is and what has become, and making it open world, and you can just kind of do anything in it. It's nice because I can play it, and and there's so many little side things to do that I can put it away for a while and then pick it back up and be like, all right, let's see what I haven't completed.
Yeah, there's no objective. There's no real force to progress.
Yeah.
That's what Valheim does. It's like you if I want to go build a house today, I will go build a house. If I
Yeah,
wanna
just play what you want.
Yeah, just play when you want.
Yeah.
And
I play solitaire.
Well,
I
you
love
got to
Star
start
Wars.
You
somewhere.
barely
right?
even do that. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
But and then recently, I've been getting more into Fortnite with my brother, and
Nice.
also playing with Val every now and then online too. And I'm not a
Until you
big
leave me.
shooter. That was a mistake. Okay, I did not do that on purpose. In fact, actually, it said when I played that time, it's like Val's hobbies left your team, and I was like, okay, then I guess we're done playing. So, but I'm not a big shooter fan, but I like the just the community aspect of it, being able to play with other people.
Yeah.
That's fun. I think that's what makes it fun.
The Discord going.
It's not quite like realistic enough, and it's cartoony enough and it's quick enough. Like you don't have to like sit all day.
Sure.
You don't have to do all that. So that's a lot of fun too. My kids are super huge Pokemon fans, but they've been getting into Super Smash Brothers. So every time they stay with me, they're like, "Can we play Smash?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do that."
Yes,
So
I can.
Is that the balloons?
Yes.
The go-karts and balloons?
that's Mario Kart.
Oh, well, you're
Oh.
thinking about the one where they jump off. Oh no, maybe you're thinking about Mario Kart.
Yeah, I am.
Which Mario Kart's great too. I'll play the hell of some Mario Kart.
Smash Brothers is the one we all yell at each other on the screen when the characters fall off the edge.
Oh, yeah.
And then they
Your-
fly back
Your
up. And
son forgets which character he is?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
What
straight
games are
mayhem.
you playing?
What games am I playing?
Yeah.
Only Fortnite.
Only Fortnite.
I was playing Destiny 2. Actually, all the Destinies. That's like what I mained a lot of. If I could pick one game, it would be World of Warcraft for sure.
Definitely.
Explain the math books you had.
Oh man. Well, I played from vanilla, so
Right.
I had the moleskin books,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and I'd sit there and write all my stats, what pieces I need, how it would affect my stats, my haste, my crit, all the percentages. I did all the math, and I just have I still have them.
See, that's crazy
Pages
that
and
you actually
pages and
took the
pages.
time to do that, because that's one of the reasons why I still have yet to actually play Dungeons and Dragons, is because I don't have the attention span for the math. And that's why I like playing the game, because I don't have to do
Well,
the math.
now
you
I
just
was
drop
super
gear and
simple,
it
though.
lets you know, like, oh, it's going to raise your stats by X amount of points. I'm like,
Now,
sure, let's do
they
that.
simplified WoW a lot. They simplified a lot.
since the beginning. What's your class?
Oof. Well, I
Well,
played-
Alliance or Horde?
always
Oh,
Horde.
yeah.
Oh,
Always
really?
Horde. Yeah.
See, I'm
Horde.
Alliance. Alliance all day.
No.
And specifically only because of Worgen. If Worgen were Horde, I would be Horde. But it's because Worgen is Alliance, I got to go Alliance.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Oregon, but in the beginning it was Torn Warrior.
Oh, okay.
And the only reason why is a buddy of mine was telling me, you got to be a tank, dude. If you want to play this game,
Yep.
got to be a tank. Got to jump in there. Got to be a tank.
That's so
Everybody wants a
funny.
tank.
Yep.
I'm like, I played for like an hour, dude, and I'm done because I kept getting the group killed or whatever. And then like,
Tank's fault. Tank's fault.
I'm not getting
Typically, it's the
aggro.
hunter that gets everybody killed. But
Right?
Yeah.
You're right. Exactly.
No,
I
rated-
just want you to know that at some point I thought you guys were speaking a different language.
Yeah, probably.
There's still more of that.
Probably.
Okay.
I'm sure there are people who are going to be watching this being like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking
Yes.
about. And be like,
1,000%.
And
Okay,
even
sorry.
now,
But yeah,
it's
so
worse.
WoW is the game to play. If I didn't have, like a wife, kids, a dog, a job,
A dog?
if adult
Multiple
life didn't
dogs.
exist,
yeah, then I would play WoW forever. That game is just,
Definitely.
it's always so much fun. Always, always. I mean, there's always ups and downs like every game, but
Of course.
I think that one's just by far the best.
and they got a new set of
Yes.
ones coming out, I think.
I think so. They
And some new, what are the expansions?
Yeah, and they have a new class and all kinds of stuff. So
what's it called again? I forgot.
It's supposed to be a trilogy, I think.
I'll tip my tongue. Yes.
And it's supposed to be like the Return of the Titans or something.
I don't remember. I try to stay away. I stay away from the news as much as I can.
That's what I'm saying.
For a lot
It's-
of reasons.
It's addicting.
So we've seen a lot of cool, I'll call them like mashups, whether it's like an artist working with a gaming company, or do you guys have any dream partnerships that you would like, companies you would love to work with?
I had an opportunity to work with the Dallas Cowboys, and that was a dream for
Oh,
me.
just the Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, that was my dream, is to be a part of the NFL in some capacity, whether
Okay.
it be
Did you play? Is that why?
no. I just, as a kid, I played football growing up, I had
Okay.
scholarships, whatever, but it was not everybody gets to go to the NFL. Cowboys home team, just wanted to be a part of the organization, and I don't even care if it was a towel boy. I just wanted to be part of it. But
I'm going to need proof if you were the Cowboy.
I was just, at a show one day, and the gentleman was walking around looking at some sketches I did of Zeke and Dak, and he was just like, "Can I get your contact info?" And I'm like, "Sure." And 6 months later, I get a call, and it's him, and he's like, "This is blah 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 with his name is Bert Arista, but with the Dallas Cowboys," and I'm like, get out of here, dude. No way. Is that the same dude that just, and he was like, yes, it is. I was like, I'm hanging up, dude. It's not funny. So I hung up on him.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, no, calls back. He's like, no, this is Bertarista. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like,
That's awesome.
so, and then it all, rest is history. So I got to draw for them, but
What did you draw?
so there was a charitable organization or charitable event that the Cowboys were sponsoring, and it was for John Nyland's company or concrete company. And I was asked to draw several portraits, one of Dak, one of John Nyland, one of Tom Landry, and Jerry Jones. And I had
No
to go
Tony Romo?
no. And that was a cool process. They were great. They were awesome. And call me if you need artists.
Yeah.
I'll draw for you guys.
How about you, Rob?
That's something I've never thought of before, to be honest with you. Comics is always going. I think are always going to be my passion. It's always been my sort of jumping off point. But I think because I would love to somehow translate this into other forms of creativity and things of that nature. Clearly I would say going back to podcasting because I used to do that. Like doing this again with you guys is awesome, and I love revisiting it and everything. But I think if I'm able to collaborate with something art-wise, I'd have to go back to video games again. Like I'd love to do something with Nintendo or Capcom. Because
What are the different types of options you could do?
Honestly, like I think I'd love to do more with like character design and like world building and things of that nature. I don't necessarily want to focus solely on the animation aspect, but I want to fine tune the look of the characters and the worlds and
We've
everything.
seen that with like Spider-Man 5 or whatever it is, or Spider-Man 2.
The most
Spider-Man 2,
recent one and everything too.
Like,
Yeah,
Bruce
like
Momoko
I would
did a
love to do.
skin
Yeah,
and all
I
that
would
kind of
like.
stuff.
What was it? Insomniac is the one that made them and everything.
Yeah.
Like I would love to do a project like that. Like like if I don't know, I'm just gonna say like let's say or we'll say Insomniac again. Let's say they're able to pull like a Moon Knight license and like we want to do a Moon Knight game, but we need to like. We want a different kind of spin on it in the look and everything. But we love your style. We'd love you to help either consult or help with the redesigns of these characters and things of that nature. That would be great. Like I'd love to be able to like kind of sort of dip my toe in the water and do that as well.
Have you seen Marvel Snap?
So yeah, I have
seen some artists that
and
do
I've
work
seen
for
artists do have the contributions to that and everything too, which is kind of cool because then they create almost like a motion graphic out of it and everything, which I think is kind of neat. And if the creators of that game were ever to approach me and be like, "Hey, we want you to do XYZ characters in your style for Marvel Snap," I'd be like, "Hell yes!"
Yeah,
like
that's
sign
awesome.
me on.
Marvel Snap. Give us a call.
Yeah, I'm available.
Yeah. Have you heard of Marvel Snap?
I have. I actually met one of the artists at LA Comic Con that did some work with them, but I don't really know too much about what it's about. I've seen it, and I got to meet one of the artists, and he was a super nice guy. So it was just I saw this little motion capture thing, and I was like, "What do you do with this game? What is this about?" So, but no, I'm just not too familiar with it, unfortunately. I need to be.
I know it's a card game.
Yeah.
Digital,
Yeah,
right? On your
digital
phone,
card
like a
game,
Pokemon
yeah.
Go, but Marvel version?
Well, Go's a little bit different.
Go's
more,
different.
Maybe more like a Hearthstone.
Yeah, so it's a digital trading card battling game
got it. Okay.
type deal. Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. Hearthstone would be a good parallel.
You can tell I don't get out much because I'm always drawing something. I'm like, what's life like outside?
Do you have kids?
No.
You have two.
I have two, and that's why also part of me keeps up with all this stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
Because like my kids are like super into like Minecraft and Roblox, and I mean Pokemon's never really gone away, and I loved Pokemon as a kid, but there's so many out there now that they're like, oh, this is Zyraguard. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you
sure.
make that up?
Yeah, I don't know. That may
okay.
not even be a real Pokemon. I'm just throwing it out there. But it sounds like one.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
It sounds like one, but I have no idea. But I mean, that's part of why I keep it. But in the end, I was a fan first of all this stuff. Before I got into being any sort of artist or creative, like I'm a fan first. And so I still have a love for that stuff. So I still try to keep up with it, news or trailers for stuff, because as you mentioned, we're busy a lot of times. We don't get to do it. Like me, myself personally, I work a full-time day job that hopefully one day I'm able to leave and focus solely on art. And then as soon as I leave there, I come home and then I'm working on art, and I'm working on projects, whether it's freelance gigs or contract gigs or whatever they are. And so it's that constant grind of doing everything, not to mention other side hustles I have, that it's hard to be able to play all this stuff and or even experience all of it. So I at least try to keep up with the news aspect of it.
Yeah.
So I know like, oh, this is cool. This is coming out. Yeah. Maybe someday I'll have time to try it.
Yeah.
But at least it keeps me in the loop. And it also helps too, because especially when I'm doing conventions, if somebody comes up to the table and is like, hey, can you draw Huggy Wuggy from Poppy Playtime? Most people are gonna be like,
the blue guy?
I don't know. Yeah. So you know
How did you know? I don't even know what that is.
So
Because your son.
It's all his fault.
So most people wouldn't know what the hell that is. So because like what I'll do is personally, there are a lot of YouTube channels I like to watch, whether it's Markiplier or Game Grumps, Jacksepticeye,
Or the Legacy Studio.
brand new to YouTube. But any of those, whether it's the Game Theory channel, Film Theory, anything like that, like I really enjoy watching them because I'll play them in the background usually while I'm working, and I enjoy watching them because they'll keep me up to date of what's going on. They'll be playing a game where I'm like, oh, I didn't even know this was a thing,
Right.
and so it kind of gives me like a taste into what's going on without worrying about like, well, I don't know where I'm going to find the time to play it, which eventually, yeah, I'd love to play some of them, but sometimes I don't have that time. So at least this keeps me kind of in the loop. Like, I'm still not quite sure what this is, but I've been hearing it all around the internet of Skibbity Toilet. Do you know what that?
Sorry, what?
It's called Skibbity Toilet. It's like the newest meme thing or whatever out there.
No idea.
Apparently, it's some online game thing or whatever, and it's like creepypasta, I think.
Creepy pasta?
You never heard of creepypasta?
Is this the game that Val plays?
Creepypasta is
I'm alarmed
He
if
runs
it
around and he
is.
starts calling things like weird toilet names.
I think so. I think that's what it is.
And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with
So
you?
what? Okay, have you ever heard of
Yes.
Slender Man?
Do you know who you're talking to?
Yes. I'm sure she has.
Okay, well if you've ever heard
Oh,
of,
I haven't.
So whether you heard of like stuff like Slender Man or Siren Head, it started as creepypasta, and creepypasta is basically an anagram for copy and paste, but like horror and everything.
Okay.
So it's become known as creepypasta, where it's basically fan stories
Okay.
that have taken a life of their own and become its own thing. They've either been memed out or have become internet mythology, I guess is a good way to put it, or everything. And I think that's what Skibbity Toilet falls under. It's like this new thing.
Is it like Charlie? You bet me.
I mean, well, that's a meme, but it kind of falls into the same thing. It's just, and it has its popularity on the internet. It's just like, for speaking of Charlie, it's like the thing that I've been seeing everywhere come into from way back in the day was the whole, what is it? The Charlie the Magic Unicorn thing of like,
Oh my gosh, yes.
it's a Leoplerodon, Charlie,
Oh
a
my
magic
God.
Leoplerodon.
I haven't heard that in a long
right,
time.
but it's coming back, like from I don't know why, but it's
And salad fingers.
or salad fingers. It's another one too.
I know
And,
that
like,
You know what I'm talking about now?
Yeah.
so
You know that one.
that's coming back too, and that's what Skibbity Toilet is. It's the new salad fingers. It's the new Charlie the Unicorn. It's the new whatever.
It's a new weird shit.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
it's the new thing that's memeing right now on the internet, and so like that's why I'll try to keep up with this stuff. It's like not even be like, hey, I'm hip, but at the same time, again, if somebody comes up like I didn't really know what Minecraft was years ago, even when it was popular. And I remember I was doing an in-store appearance, and I think it was for Free Comic Book Day, and a kid was like, came up, he's like, "Can you draw me the Ender Dragon?" I'm like, I don't know what that is. So I had to Google it, and like I was like, oh, it's a Minecraft thing. So then that was one of those instances where like, okay, I got to kind of keep up with what's coming
Is that
up.
the purple light one round?
It's
Got
a
the purple eyes.
Oh,
yeah, it's got purple eyes, but it's like a big, like dark gray, almost black dragon.
Okay.
But I didn't know what it was, and so I had to look it up. And so it was like moments like that where I'm like, okay, I got to kind of have a general idea of what's going on. Not that I do a lot of like stuff like that, because most people want if they come up to me, it's your standard, comic book character. But every now and then I might get a, hey, can you draw Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy? I'm like, yeah, I know that. Sure, I'll do that. But it helps. It helps to kind of like be aware of what's going on. I think like the new thing now is Pal World, which is like the thing that's threatening Pokemon, because it's Pokemon with guns is the best way to describe it. And so
Just
like
add guns.
and so like their main character looks like if you took Totoro from My Neighbor Totoro and mixed it with Pikachu, and that's like the thing now. So I'm sure at some point some kid will be like, "Can you draw this?" And I'll be like, "Well, thankfully I know what it is. Sure, I'll take care of it for you." And it just helps, especially like, and it's crazy, like all the creative stuff out there. It kind of gives you.
I feel like I
motivation.
can't even understand my 13-year-old half the time she's talking.
Oh yeah, no, there's
The
plenty
words they use, I'm lost.
My 10-year-old and especially my 7-year-old, he'll spout off stuff all the time. I'm like, yeah, I don't really know what that is. I'll look it up, but I don't know what you're talking about.
I did something the other day and my kid said, "Ugh, that's sus." It's like, what the heck?
Suspect.
I mean, I get
That's
it.
from Among Us.
Exactly. All right, 2024. We're towards the beginning of it. What do you guys have that you're looking forward to this year? Specific con, specific project, specific thing, goal you want to achieve? What do we got?
I'm looking forward to MegaCon.
Ooh.
I've never been. I like we talked about this earlier. It's going to be madness, I hear.
Yep.
So I'm excited for that. My goal is to try to travel more and go out of state, get out of Texas. But I'm always trying to push towards the goal, and I want to try to shoot for Marvel at some point if there's an opportunity. I hope, but it's not the end goal. But yeah, that's what I'm
Cover?
doing.
Is that what we're talking
Yeah,
about?
right.
Okay.
And so I want to do more covers based around my culture, my heritage and stuff.
Love that.
I grew up on lowrider art, that kind of art style, and I really love that feel. And you don't see that too often in comic book covers,
Right.
especially with image titles or with, IDW or Boom. So I'd love to be able to incorporate that and make it my own thing. But again, it's something that I'm pushing towards, and hopefully that becomes a reality. So
Awesome. How about you, Rob?
Kind of the same with what you said. I'm definitely looking forward to MegaCon. I've never been here before, so I'm really interested. I'm also looking forward to a lot of the future shows that we've discussed that are coming up this year, places I've never been to before, places that I have and I get to return to.
Do we want to drop a little hinty hint?
Emerald City Comic Con,
Yes.
never been there before. I've heard great things about that. C2E2, never been there before, heard great things about that. I know we're talking about returning to Heroes Con, which is essentially my home show. It's where I started doing cons to begin with, both as a fan and as an artist. So that's a special show to me. So, and then others that are going to come along the way too. But I think really like my hope is for this year to hopefully get on some more projects, even if they are just covers, or be able to hook up with different other creatives out there. As we've discussed in the past, as you and I have discussed today, like I try to be versatile, so I can do pencils, inks, or colors, or all three, or two of them, because I want to be able to be available to whoever is like, hey, I like your skill set, let's work together on whatever it may be. So I'd love to do some stuff with some more recognizable titles out there, so I can add some more to my portfolio, make more connections, and hopefully get to a point where I can potentially say bye to my day job and just focus solely on this.
That is the goal.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap it. We're going to do everybody's favorite question. I called it a rapid fire question last time, and that was the worst mistake ever. Apparently, it's not so rapid. So we all get, hopefully, 60 to 100 years here on this planet, hopefully. What are they going to say about you for your legacy?
that is a good question. I don't know how you answer that.
Let's just say Ash tried to avoid it about 17 times.
I personally just want to be remembered for something good. I want to be remembered as somebody that followed his dreams and created beautiful art and connected with so many people just by simply grabbing a pencil and putting it on paper. So,
Yeah, I mean, I've given I've given an answer to a similar question in the previous episode. So go back and watch it. YouTube.com/Legacy
Do you have
Studio.
a legacy 2.0?
I'm going to sort of expand on what he said, and it's always been this sort of like running gag with myself, and that I've said to people, but I mean it, but I'm joking at the same time. Like I've always kind of just wanted to be Santa Claus, and what I mean by that is I just want to be able to make something that brings joy and happiness, and whether that means comic book art, pursuing more in podcasting, getting back into voice acting, hopefully maybe even one day getting into directing something would be great too. I want to create.
Yes, Sal, you can have a director.
Yeah, if you need it. I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah, exactly. There you go. We'll frame it up. Perfect. But no, in all seriousness, I just want to be able to make something that not only my kids can be proud of, but at the same time too that I leave a legacy behind of just saying that despite all the hardships, he pushed forward and he still was able to achieve what he wanted to achieve. And I think that's kind of my focal point.
Well, I love those. Here at the Legacy Studio, it is important that we elevate and propel the careers of artists, and that not only do we focus on an artist, but we make sure that their customers have a first-class experience. And ultimately, our goal is to make sure that whatever we build in our lifetime, it will leave a legacy for generations to come. So I just want to say thank you very much for giving us your time today. You both are incredibly talented. This industry is so lucky to have you. And we will see you on the next episode of The Legacy Studio. I only have one question to ask you. We all leave a legacy, good or bad. What will yours be?
Thank you, gentlemen.
You guys rock.
And cut.
And cut.